Let's see if this thing is working like it's supposed to. Alright, well, what's up, folk? Hopefully y'all can hear me. If not, I'll see in a second. Hopefully I'm gonna pull this thing up on my phone. So basically what I'm doing here, and I'll re-explain this if I have to. Now, I am not a fan of freaking Skyforge, to be honest. This game annoys the heck out of me, but mainly due to the community. And well, due to the community and how the devs really don't seem to care about this game outside of how they can make more money. But to be honest, this game is one of the closest things I've had to what I'm interested in trying to play. Like as far as play styles and everything, it's a very unique game. It's really unique, and that's what keeps drawing me back to the game. Now, dealing with the people up here, I leave. Having to constantly deal with the stupidity of the folk on this community has made me leave this game so many times. Constantly seeing how the updates and stuff don't help the game like at all has made me leave the game. You know, this darn thing has pissed me off so many freaking times that I had to just like stop playing it for multiple occasions. I had to stop playing this. All right. Now, the only reason why I'm back this time, and I literally said this in the chat last time I played this, I was like, yo man, I'm done with this and I'm sick of y'all, I'm getting tired of this. I'm not coming back until they make a decent update. They need to bring out a new planet or something. There needs to be a new world, a new area for us to play. Because for I don't know how long, it's just been us defending this, but it's just been like the players defending the planet from random invasions. The only new map, like the only new world that they've given us is the moon, which has nothing up there but like robots, basically. You know, it's like a desolate freaking landscape with just random quests and a whole bunch of robots. That's it, you know. And like, to be honest, I'm glad that they did do something like that, but at the same time, it's just this big old empty map with rocks. I was just like, what the freak? Yeah, you know, they gave us a little space jump, you know, the low gravity and everything. Yeah, that's cool and fun to a degree, but even so, you know, I mean, and even that, to be honest, even that is a good thing for this game because you don't see many MMOs where you actually go to the moon, you know, stuff like that. You know, I mean, you go to other dimensions and everything like that, but there's no change in gravity. You know, it's a small detail, but at the same time, it's still a big one because it's not something that you see that's common. That's part of the reason why I keep coming back to this darn game. You know, they do uncommon stuff, but they still are doing a horrible job. If this was like a normal MMO, I definitely wouldn't have been back. Absolutely would not have been back. Shoot. Anyway. Paladin. So let's get to it. I have pretty much unlocked all the classes except for the Grove Walker. Some of them I have paid for, many of them I've just earned. I just don't feel like trying to go through all the extra stuff anymore. I really don't. Now before I was actually playing this thing and just messing around, trying different classes and everything like that. And I figured, you know, hey man, you know, people need to know how to play these darn things. It's getting on my nerves going into groups with people, you know, and they don't know how to play their class. But at the same time, the way the game is set up, it's like you don't really need to know, especially when you get to doing group stuff, until the very end of the game, when people expect you to actually do your job. There's no reason for you to really learn your class except for in solo play, to be honest. Except for maybe in solo play. You know, there's no real reason for you to really know your character, all right? And it ticks me off so much. You notice now, like, the weirdness of the controls, how, like, I'm kind of, like, skipping forward here. Yeah, this is my nephew's controller. It's a little messed up. So pressing forward on this doesn't make me run at full speed. Anyway, let me pull up this thing on YouTube so I can make sure I'm actually being heard. So yeah, man. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Turn up volume so you can hear me. Okay, so yeah, there we go. All right. Well, now that I confirm that, let's get this going. Okay. So, well, first off, one of the first things I want to tell people. Oh, don't start this. Don't start this nonsense. Really? Man, this controller. Anyway, so first off, this is the training hall area for people who don't know or haven't played this game, or people who just, you know, got up here and had somebody just carry them through everything. Basically, you can come in here, try out your abilities, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. All right. The training hall area is a really good place to go to if you just got yourself a new character. If you got yourself a new class, it's a good place to go to. You can actually come in here and you know, just keep killing these little robots here. You can unlock all of your abilities for your character doing this. All right. Now that we've said that, let's get to this. So, Paladin is actually a really powerful class. It's a really good class. In my opinion, it's like the most balanced one that's in the game. Whatever. It's like really like the most balanced class that there is out there. You could easily, you know, deal with enemies, large groups of enemies. You can tank out all the damage they hit you with, and so on and so forth. You know. And you have some good recovery. You have some good crowd control, like that's a crowd control ability. It knocks enemies down. Your L2 triangle, this kind of does like a what is it called? A flinch. So if enemies get hit by each wave, it flinches them and knocks them out of whatever ability or move they're about to do. L2 R1, which is your ultimate. That ability actually quote unquote teleports you to the enemy location. And it does a decent amount of damage. It makes you invincible while you're doing the teleportation, and while you're going through the animation, you're invincible. It can break you out of stuns and holds and everything like that. So if you find yourself in a bad situation, you know, where you're getting locked down by a large group of enemies, you can use that to remove some of the damage that you would have been taking, and possibly get yourself out of danger for a second, maybe in enough time to allow you to put your shield on, you know. So, now first off, let's actually look at the freaking abilities and see what they do. So, Punishing Blow, that's 2-hit combo. Seal of Light, which is one of the best moves in this freaking game, if you ask me. It's a really strong attack. I'll show you one in a moment. Judicial Blows, your 3-hit combo. Punishing Bolt is decent. It does good AoE damage to enemies around you, but it takes a big chunk of your energy. Justice Blade is just the full 4-hit combo. You complete this combo to give you a big chunk of your energy back so that you can do other stuff. You know, Punishing Bolt is the lightning bolt. That's a single target, but it still does decent damage. And it seems to really proc the Seal of Light a lot. You know, Punishing Bolt is good for if you're trying to get Seal of Light to proc. Or let me see here what it's called. Celestial Seal. There we go. If you're trying to get Celestial Seal to proc, Punishing Bolt seems to be a good move to use for that. Justice Blade, like I just said, that one gives you a big chunk of your energy back so you can use other abilities. Divine Scourge is the actual one that does the AoE attack. I'll show you that one in a second. Waves of Wrath. Supposedly you can use this as a normal attack or whatever. And then there's the normal Waves of Wrath. That's interesting. I'm going to have to try that, because usually I just do the Waves of Wrath, the charge up ability. You know, I do the charge up one. Oh, this is weird. Because it says charging here, but this one actually tells you to hold down a button. I don't know. What the freak, man? That's weird. Why do you even have two? Why do you even tell you that? Hold on. Yeah, and now it's on cooldown. Because it's, what the freak? Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Anyway, alright, so we're gonna beat up on this dude here a little bit. Now, as a paladin, you know, the main idea is that you're supposed to be pretty tanky. You're supposed to be able to take on a lot of damage and whatnot. You know, this is the tank class that you start off with. Alright, I suggest this class to be the one that most people play if they're trying to, you know, get through a tough boss battle. The paladin is very good for just dealing with any situation. It's all around goodness. Okay. Now, starting off, usually what I do is start off with the charge attack. Alright. And your abilities, that should be, I believe, R2. And that'll be this one right here. Alright. Onslaught. Okay. You run at the enemy and you basically just stab them. Alright. This is a tanking ability as well. It gives you aggro. So, if you're in a group and you're not supposed to be the tank, but you want to play paladin, don't use this ability. Okay. If you're not tank, do not use this ability because it will put aggro on you. The enemy will continue to attack you for like 3 to 4 seconds or something like that. So if you aren't the tank, do not use onslaught. Okay. Anyway, moving on. The way this ability works is that it does more damage the further you are away from your enemy. So if you're at the full range, it actually increases how much damage it does. Paladin rushes toward the enemy and attacks with their sword, inflicting X amount of damage depending on your level and how your might is all set up, whatever. For me, it's 7,862 damage. And slowing the enemy down by 90% for 3 seconds. So it also slows, I didn't know that. During which the slowing effect is gradually reduced. Well, you can't really tell. You can't really tell because it falls off so quickly you don't even realize it. Especially since you run up to the enemy, they're just going to be standing there right in front of you. All right. Anyway. It's probably, the whole slowing thing is probably meant for PvP, which I don't even play because it's so horribly broken. Moving forward, inflicts 120% more damage for every 0.5 seconds spent charging towards the target, but no more than 600% of extra damage. Alright, so as I said before, the further you are away from the enemy, the more damage you do when you run into them. Alright, pulls all hostile monsters in the 12-yard radius towards them. It prevents them from moving for 3 seconds. Okay, it should say towards you, but whatever, moving on. Alright, forces enemies to attack the paladin for 3 seconds. So it says enemies. So is this an AoE? That's a good question. Moving past that. Anyway, because I thought this one was supposed to be like a single target tanking ability. Whereas the other one, this one right here, Waves of Holiness, is the AoE tanking ability. Moving forward. Alright, usually I start off the attack with onslaught. Then I just go into the normal punishing blow and so on and so forth, the normal combo stuff here. Alright, that's if I'm just fighting one single target. If I'm fighting multiple targets, I go with onslaught, then I pop my shield, right here, yeah, celestial shield, pop a shield, and then I use the Waves of Holiness right here, which is the AoE damaging attack. And then after I do that, then I use Waves of Wrath, which is the hold down charge ability, and that knocks down all the enemies. Alright. So basically by the time my shield is about to break or go down, I'll be done with Waves of Holiness. And then if I don't want to get hit again, I just hit this and it'll knock all the enemies down. You know, and then I can just wail on whoever I want to, do a combo that does extra AoE damage, blah blah blah, just going to fight and killing stuff. Alright. That's usually how I do things, okay? So, this ability, starting off, this ability has like a 40-yard range or something like that. I'm falling away from the staircase. About 39, yeah, there we go. So, about 39 meters for 40 meter range, basically. I guess I'm standing at the 40 meter mark and he's 39 meters away. Makes sense. Moving on. Alright, so you hit this, it's going to make you rush toward the enemy. And that's one, was it? 27. Turn it down in a second. It does a big chunk of damage. All right. Now, usually, like I said before, it will do like a big circular thing to pull enemies in. I'll give you an example of that over here. All right. So rush toward them, and it's going to bring all of them toward me. Okay. So now they're all close to me, and I can do whatever abilities I have and all that to do damage to them. And of course, we're going to do the same thing. One of the things that I found out about this game. One of the things I found out about this game is that they have different weapons. The weapon I'm using right now, this is more of a tanking weapon for the Paladin. Paladins, starting off when they first came out with this darn thing, there were 3 weapons for every freaking class. Paladin actually has 3. As well as I don't have the 2. Okay. Well, there's the Executioner Sword and Shield, as you see here. This is more for damage. And then there's this one, which is the Indomitable Sword and Shield, which is endurance. Alright, endurance is interesting mechanic. I'll explain that in a second. Moving on. Wow, really? Is this controller really that bad right now? Wow. This dude controller is like, what does he do to mess up? How do people mess their controllers up like this? I mean, seriously, man. I had my controllers for so long, and I didn't have this issue. Like, I didn't have issues with my controller until I let other people start playing my system. It was, oh my goodness. Moving on. But yeah, you know, run in. Usually I go like that. And then pop the shield. Pull the enemies in. Like that. And that. And then it'll knock them down. And go ahead and beat on them. Blah, blah, blah. That's usually what I do. Alright. Now, the best thing to do as far as pushing out damage is to use this ability here. Seal of Light. Alright, Celestial Seal, Seal of Light, okay? People do not know about this darn ability. It pisses me off so much that they don't know about this darn ability. Let's look at this. Alright, Seal of Light, Punishing Bolt, Divine Scourge, used on the holy ground, or if the Paladin has enough righteous anger, have a 24, 36, and 48% chance to apply Celestial Seal effect to the Paladin for 15 seconds, which increases the damage of the next Seal of Light by 350%. Alright, now it says up here, on holy ground or for righteous aim. Alright, it increases the damage of Seal of Light by 350%. Okay? Alright, now what does Seal of Light do? It inflicts 4,000 blah blah blah, whatever X amount of damage you do for your level. Damage to the target and all enemies in the line behind it. Alright, on the holy ground or for 100 points. The area of effect is increased and the damage dealt is increased. Alright, so if you're on holy ground, it does more damage and it has a bigger wave. Okay, inflicts an additional 150% of damage to monsters with more than 80% of health. Okay, so if you use this when you start off the attack, if you start off your fight and you're using Seal of Light, you're going to do a crap ton of damage. You're already doing 150% more. Alright, because the enemy is above 80% of health. Now let's see here, what else with it? There's the Celestial Seal, and then they got Holy Ground here, okay? Now Holy Ground is the one that was telling you that if you use Holy Ground, well, this is free. So that creates Holy Ground around the Paladin for 15 seconds. In this area, the Paladin's combo attacks do not consume righteous anger, so it doesn't use up your resources. And the Paladin inflicts 30% more damage, so all your damage is increased by 30%. Alright? Only one holy ground may be active at a time. Okay, so excuse me. So if you want to do max damage output, you gotta use holy ground. All right, it's a really good ability. and it helps you out a ton. It helps you out a ton. Okay. Now, to be honest, the animation for the Holy Ground isn't that great. You can't really, tell. You usually can't tell, you know, like, as you can see it like this, you know, because it's like a level playing field and everything. But even then, if you're not paying attention, if you're in the middle of combat, you're not going to notice that circle. You're really not going to notice that circle. And look how quickly it disappeared. Yeah, supposedly, I think I like still have, as long as my sword and shield are glowing, I think I still have the Holy Ground effect, okay? So, you know, once that disappears, you know, then you're back to your normal status and so on and so forth. But Holy Ground really helps out in a tough situation. When you're trying to pump out a lot of damage, this is really great to use, but it's really great to use. Now, I don't know if the increased damage affects other players. I don't think it does. I think it only affects the Paladin. It basically gives you like a little arena area for you to pump out as much damage as you can. Okay. Now, I was actually even like the third thing, how much damage this darn ability does, and it's a freaking ridiculous amount of damage because you have to incorporate the different weapons you have too. Like, well, I can't equip it right now. Like the Executioner Sword reduces your damage by 100 and, well, at this level increases it 157.5%. You know, all of that stuff together is ridiculous. All right, so let me just show you. Because when it procs that ability, when the seal procs, it's like really crazy. All right, there we go. Celestial Seal just procced. All right, so now I'm gonna do Holy Ground and just do the attack. Now you see how much damage that did? All right, did you see that? Just like it went from like 90% of its health down to 77. All right, that's a ridiculous chunk of health. All right, now it still does a ton of health, but since the enemy isn't over 80%, you know, you're just gonna lose a little bit of that. Just a little bit of the fall off is gonna go. But this ability is one of the best abilities to freaking use whenever you're in a fight. Whenever you're in a tough situation and you don't feel like you're gonna win, just pop that attack. It always does a nice healthy chunk of health. Always does a good chunk of health. Okay? Alright. And as you can see, which is another thing I've seen people do, pay attention to your on-screen prompts. It's pretty simple to play this class. It really is. You know, that's pretty much all you have to do is pay attention to your on-screen prompts. You know, down right there, R1. And that gives you a big chunk of damage too. That one actually hits the main target and also goes to other enemies as well. And I'm about to switch to stern controller because this junk moving around is getting on my nerves. Alright. And that's the other ability there, the lightning bolt ability. This one usually, well, when I was playing it before, it seemed like it would always proc the Celestial Seal. So pay attention to the on-screen prompts whenever you're playing the Paladin. That's the main. Now I think because I have lower energy, that the other ability isn't prompting as much. I remember, maybe they changed it, but I remember when like the first time I was playing, it was kind of dependent on how much energy you had, whether or not you had like a large amount, like if your mono pool or your righteous anger pool was at a certain amount, then it'll proc it more often or something along those lines. It was something like that. Or maybe I just misread the whole thing about the percentage of chance that you have for this to work. But since I didn't have enough energy, it didn't do anything for me. But since I have this, Holy Ground allows me to keep using the ability without missing out on energy, without having to worry about energy costs. Okay. Now, Paladin is ridiculously more powerful than most people think. It really is. Like, especially when you're fighting bosses when they have like a big chunk of health. You know, getting yourself those health orbs is important for playing as the Paladin. Okay, it's important for everybody, but it's really important for playing as a paladin because you're the tank. Alright, one of the things that I really hate about how people play this game is that they don't play it as an actual team. They don't do the team synergy that they're supposed to do. Alright, Paladin's supposed to run in first. Alright, Paladin goes in first. They have their shield and everything like that. And they're supposed to be the one to take and tank all the damage. Keep the aggro on them so that they are able to keep everybody else on the team alive. That is the main focus of the Paladin, all right? And in this game, it's even more so than many other games because the way the healing works in this game, they don't have the healing like they do in other games. In this game, there are no healers. You have the Lightbinder, all right? Starting out, you have this character, the Lightbinder, okay? The Lightbinder has no healing abilities. All the Lightbinder can do is give you a shield, all right? Give you a shield, increase your damage, give you a shield, or give you a shield. That's all the Lightbinder does, all right? I guess that actually does damage. I didn't even know that. Okay, anyway. I'll have to look at them to read that later. That's going to be the next video, I guess, the Lightbinder. Moving forward, yeah, that's pretty much all you have, you know. You can also bring people back from the dead with the little wake up or rise and shine ability when you're on a team. And you actually have 2 resurrect abilities in this game for this character. One of which I have not seen anyone use since I've started playing this, which is the ultimate ability, what is it, L2 R1. All right, it'll turn you to a beam of light or whatever like that. If there's somebody near you when you turn into that thing and that person dies, you'll lose the beam of light effect, and that person will either be brought back or they'll be protected from death. I don't know which one exactly because I have not seen it happen before. Moving forward. All right, let's get back to the Paladin. So yeah. Oh yeah, because I don't have the right effects because I started combat right there. Die all wheel. That's the one thing I don't like about this. It's like the enemies will keep coming back. Okay, they're done. Alright. If you attack something, then you have to kill it before you can switch your classes and all that stuff like that. It's a little annoying, but it makes sense. I mean, that's just how combat works in this game anyway. Paladin is a very good class to use. Now, another ability that I see people use improperly is this one, the L2 circle. Alright. Now, that's the Celestial Seal. That's for the normal circle. But when you do L2 circle, you get Aegis of Light. Alright. This creates a barrier around the Paladin and their ally. The barrier absorbs damage and gives immunity to removal effects and control effects for 4 seconds. Alright, basically it makes you invincible for 4 seconds. If no ally is selected, a friendly target with the lowest health will be selected automatically. Okay, so this is the save somebody on your team ability here. Alright, you use that ability and it can keep you and somebody else on your team alive through no matter what the damage is, alive through anything. Okay, but it only lasts for 4 seconds. So, you know, that 4 seconds goes by quick in battle too. It goes by really quick. That 16-second cooldown seems to take forever, no lie. But that 4 seconds disappears. It feels like it disappears nearly instantly. Because once you use it, you're just like, it's done. You know. So you have to really, really, you know the fight or be prepared for a specific attack when you're about to use it. You know, it's only good for protecting you pretty much against 1 or maybe 2 attacks, and then you're back to being vulnerable again. And if you're trying to save somebody on your team who's about to die, you can pop this ability too, and maybe run over and attack the enemy that's killing them. That's about it. The aiming in this makes it difficult to really get that done too, to be honest. But moving past all of that, that ability is really meant to keep you alive in a really difficult situation, or maybe give you a few more seconds to try to get another cooldown to come up. So if you're trying to get your shield to come back, you just pop that real quick. Hopefully by the time that 4 seconds is up, it'll give you a chance to get away from the enemy, put yourself in a better position, and then you'll have enough time for your shield, your normal shield, to come back, which is your big defensive ability. that's pretty much it. There's not really much that needs to be said about this class. It's really not that difficult to play at all. It's just knowing what your abilities do and when to use them. And the only ability you really need to know when to use is Celestial Seal. You know, that ability right there. Just use that starting out when the enemy has like really high health. That'll really chunk their health down really fast. If you can like maybe beat them down to almost 80% health and get that to proc, put up holy ground, and then smash them with the attack, you know, you'll really put yourself in a better position while you're fighting. You know, because as long as they're above 80%, that's when you're going to do maximum damage with that attack. All right, you can really just like blow away a huge chunk of their health. It took me a while to understand how that worked because at first I wasn't reading my abilities, but that's just how it works, man. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna tell you for Paladin. It took me 30 minutes, which is a lot quicker than I usually do. And if you're trying to figure that out, the best thing to do is come over here to Battle History and under the Community tab, and it'll tell you, it'll literally show you the sign of every ability that you use in combat. It'll tell you the name of it, and it'll tell you the actual symbol, show you the symbol for that attack that you use. All right. Moving on, you guys have a good one, and I will try to make a new video for the next class, which is going to be Lightbinder. Thank you.